Hello and welcome to the India Today Roundtable, coming to you from the beautiful state of Goa. In fact, from just outside the Siddhartha Goa Hotel, we are here by the river, by the sea, the Arabian Sea, where the river Mandavi not too far away in the capital city of Goa. And we are here for the India Today Roundtable Goa, where on the eve of elections, we are going to get all the big newsmakers here in Goa to speak to our viewers. This is an election that has excited a number of people because of the number of parties that are contesting it. And a key element of these parties are the regional parties. And we're going to kick off this India Today Roundtable with some of the regional parties of Goa and what they represent in this election. Joining us now at this inaugural session of the India Today Goa Roundtable, Dr. Bhatikar is of the Maharashtrawadi Gomantak party, the original party of power of Goa that won the first elections of 1963. Vijay Sardesai, former Deputy Chief Minister and Minister in the previous government of the Goa Forward Party, now in alliance with the Congress in this election. And Manoj Parab of a new party, the Revolutionary Goans Party, which some are calling Goa's answer to the Maharashtra Navnirman Sena of Raj Thackeray. Okay, let's kick it off with Vijai Sardesai. I can, as a disclosure, say Vijay and I are distantly related. You throw a stone in Goa, you'll find a Sardesai. But Vijay, I want to ask you this because you won 3 seats in 2017. You won those 3 seats on an anti-BJP vote. After the elections, you joined hands with the BJP and made Manoj Parrikar the Chief Minister, which is why some of your critics accused you of being a betrayer. Today, 5 years later, as we enter another election, what does Vijay Sardesai represent this time? What does your Goa Forward, which has now tied up with Congress, represent?
I represent the same thing what I represented in 5 years ago. And the real story behind our action in 2017 can be summarized in a tweet by Digvijay Singh, who was the then chief of the, who was the
General Secretary of the
Congress in charge of Goa, who has said that it was Luisin Falero who sabotaged a pre-poll alliance with us and then sabotaged a post-poll arrangement with us. So my thing is, whenever there is a pre-poll alliance, you can have a post-poll expectation. You don't have a pre-poll alliance, then you don't want us to be in the post-poll arrangement also. Then we had to do something because we had won 3 seats out of 4, a strike rate of 75%. And we had defeated stalwarts of the BJP. Against the BJP, against the Congress and against the Aam Aadmi Party. So we would not be just sitting there. So we decided to get Manoj Parrikar down, demote him from the defense minister to the chief minister of the state and form a government whose bedrock, whose backbone was Goikarpon. Manoj Parrikar, in the presence of Amit Shah, said it at the swearing in, that this is not a government of the BJP, this is a government of Goikarpon. We are the ones who brought Goikarpon to the political narrative.
Goikarpon meaning a sense of being
Goanness.
of Goanness. But the question still arises.
I represent the same thing. I represented Goikar and Goikarpon. That was the motto of my party.
No, but you can't, no. You are now, the question is that you claim that you represent Goinkarpon, you represent Goanness, but you go into an election seemingly in 2017 on an anti-BJP plank and you join hands with Manoj Parrikar. You are accused of being an opportunist. 5 years later, you have a pre-poll alliance with Congress. What is to stop you? You have 3 candidates contesting. If 2 of them win, which means again a 70, you'll have a 66% strike rate. You'll again come and say, Goinkarpon, I will tie up with the BJP.
What stops Sharad Pawar from going to the BJP? The same thing stops me from going to the BJP now. Because we are in a pre-poll alliance with the Congress. We are tied to the Congress before the election.
And after the election?
100% we are tied together. We
irrespective of what the verdict is.
Irrespective of anything. To even sit in the opposition.
No, suppose BJP needs 2 MLAs to form a government. Will Vijay Sardesai join hands with them?
We are not going to be with the BJP forever. That is very clear.
Okay.
Yes.
Dr. Bhatikar, the Maharashtrawadi Gomantak party, the same question has to be asked to you. After the last election, you went and tied up with the BJP. You were part of the BJP government. The same BJP broke your party in 2019 and took away 2 of your 3 MLAs. In 2022, if the verdict is a hung assembly, as many people believe, where will the MGP stand? You have tied up with the Trinamool Congress as a pre-poll alliance. Post-poll, will you go with the BJP as most people are suspecting?
See, first of all, we didn't go to BJP. BJP did come to us. And secondly, it is not about breaking something. We are quite sure, I think you are wrong, Rajdeep, that they are falling short of 2 MLAs and all. I'm quite sure BJP will not even cross 10 this time. And lastly, I'm quite sure that MGP, TMC will form the government this time, and there would be candidates who will be supporting us. So there is no question of BJP coming in power for next 5 years.
MGP, TMC government?
Yes.
No, but let's be clear.
Yeah.
MGP was seen to be, in a way, the original party of Goa, original also Hindutvavadi party.
So
so your ideology, many will say, is closer to the BJP than the TMC. What has taken you to the TMC?
See, what do you mean by Hindutva? Getting a rapist, getting into the party, giving him a party ticket, denying Manoj Parikar's son is Hindutva, getting Milind Naik, whose all videos are circulated here and there, giving him ticket is Hindutva.
Who's accused in a sex scam.
Yes, exactly, who's accused in a sex. So is this Hindutva? Calling yourself Hindu is being understanding that what is Hindutva first. Hindutva is supporting every caste, every religion and not dividing country on the basis of it. So BJP cannot teach us or anyone cannot teach us what is Hindutva.
I just want to know, the buzz in Goa is that you have tied up with the TMC because the TMC agreed to sponsor your entire election campaign. Yes or no?
See, there are a lot of buzzes that even Rajdeep Sardesai is connected to many people. It is not like that. We don't need to follow such buzzes. We need to follow what we need to do for better Goa, rising Goa and developed and healthy Goa. And we are working on the same.
So you are giving us at the India Today Roundtable an assurance that you will stick with the TMC even after the election.
We are not joining BJP.
You are not joining BJP. That doesn't mean that you are sticking with TMC.
No.
But you said,
See,
I asked you.
See, it's very simple. When we are with TMC, that means we are forming government. And that's what I have said you very clearly. So there is no question of joining BJP. BJP is not going to cross even 10. So
Okay.
there does not arise any question of joining BJP.
Okay. Manoj, Parab, you are the new kid on the block. Revolutionary Goans. When I was here last week, someone told me Manoj Parab wants to be the Raj Thackeray of Goa. You also, just as Raj Thackeray claims he stands for a certain Maharashtrian identity, you stand for a Goan identity. Is the Revolutionary Goans simply trying to attract younger Goans by targeting so-called outsiders? You are claiming that outsiders have destroyed Goa. Who are these outsiders?
First of all, sir, we are not targeting anyone. And secondly, we are into this political arena just because Revolutionary Goans is the only real regional party in Goa right now, because both the regional parties which were in Goa right now, they are allied with or they have tied up with the national party. So there's no other option for the Goan people. People of Goa, they are actually waiting for the regional force to come up, to govern the state, to make the policies. And Revolutionary Goans, as a Revolutionary Goans, we have our independent ideology, we have our independent thought process. So we are not copying anyone, or we are not Raj Thackeray or MNS of Maharashtra.
No, the reason why you all were accused of being MNS or Raj Thackeray, there were a few instances where allegedly so-called outsiders who are working in Goa were beaten up by your party men.
A very wrong information. So we have not done any violence till date. Last 5 years we have been working on ground. What we believe is, we believe in RTIs, we believe in Gram Sabhas, we believe in complaint, we believe in taking laws with us, along with us, and train our younger generation to speak up against the illegalities, to speak up for Goa and speak up for their rights.
No, you believe that the land of Goa belongs to Goans.
Yes,
You believe that jobs must be given to Goans.
Yeah, there has to be a land protection bill, because Goa is a very tiny state, and if we keep on selling the land to the outsiders, or we keep on selling the land, okay, tomorrow the younger generation which will be coming, or next generation which will be coming, they will be landless and homeless in Goa. So we need to protect our Goa, and we need to protect our Goans.
I must ask you one question though, Manoj. Just like I said, the buzz is that the TMC is sponsoring the MGP's campaign. Buzz is BJP has put up Revolutionary Goans because they want to divide the anti-BJP vote.
No, sir, it is not like that because Revolutionary Goans is the only political party or outfit, before it was an organization who was targeting BJP, who was questioning BJP, who was questioning the government, and when all the opposition was they were all busy doing tie-ups or some settings which last 50 years they have been doing, and that is the reason Goa has lost its identity, Goa has lost its culture. There's just a name, Goinkar, but no political party or no political leader is defining who is Goinkar, and that is the biggest thing.
That's a good question to ask you, Vijay Sardesai, because you had a symbol of a coconut. They have a symbol of a football. And in Goa, football, coconut all seem to represent Goinkar ethos. Goinkar Pon ethos is represented by these symbols. But what, as Manoj is saying, is actually Goinkar Pon. If you are going to say you stand for Goinkar Pon, and you are going to allow land of Goans to be taken away by so-called outsiders, which Manoj is accusing the previous governments of, what is Goinkar Pon? What have you done for Goans is the question that is being asked by a lot of young Goans today. All of you, according to them, have sold out to the so-called national parties.
See, first thing is, you talked about the coconut. When the BJP government decided to convert the coconut tree into grass, technically make it into grass, so no permission was required to cut it, because they wanted to annihilate lots of coconut trees to bring in a distillery in a place called Amda in Sange. At that time, with that agitation, we were born. So we were born with this motto of Goinkar Pon. Brand Goa sells. That is why you as India Today has come here. Brand Goa sells, but brand Goa is not going. Going to us.
No,
is
no,
not-
define,
no, no,
define,
I-
define
I'm defining,
Goinkar
I'm
Pon.
defining.
You said
I'm
you
I'm
stand
defining.
for Goinkar.
See,
I want a definition.
Rajdeep, see, it begins with going. Going is not Goa as the others living outside Goa see it. The others living outside, like the tourism minister of the country, says Goa is going to be the casino capital of India. So for him, it is casino. For Goans, it is about our cultural, our natural, and our architectural heritage. Now, Goanness is about living with everybody, constitutionally right. It is the regionalism that works and delivers. What is Goinkar Pon? We are known for syncretic culture. We are known to be hospitable people. We are known for a different history. Our identity means that we have a different history. We were liberated much later than the country got independent. We are patriotic yet regionalistic. So ours is a party that espouses regionalistic sentiments. Regionalism and regional parties are different. Regional is only about geography. Regionalistic party is about an ideology. Now you are telling me to define
Goinkar Pon, yes.
Goanness or Goinkar Pon, we say it in Konkani, is about taking the people of Goa forward. At the same time, doing things which are constitutionally right, which are not ultra-virus to the constitution. We cannot be the Republic of Goa. Understand that if we are going to bring in laws, I've been a legislator for 10 years.
Yes.
You cannot bring in a private member bill or a government bill which is ultra-virus to the constitution. You may have it, you may use it as a rhetoric. People, when the anti-Hindi agitation started in Tamil Nadu, the first thing that they talked at that time was to secede from India. But then they didn't take it forward. They still protect their regional identity, yet they are in India.
No, you are regional and yet strongly
so
Indian.
there are different laws that can be made.
So, no, give me see.
Yeah,
the
I'll
fact
give you.
is,
I'll give you scores of examples.
1 minute. Yeah. You said that outsiders are defining, or the tourism minister of the country defined Goa as the casino capital.
Yes. He says he wants
you were in power in 2017. You
Yes.
were deputy chief minister.
Yes.
It is your government which encouraged the casino culture.
No,
Today in 2022, you are telling me
I'm not against
Goa
casinos.
should not be the casino capital.
No. I'm just telling you one thing. First thing is casinos are there in Goa. But if you say that your plans for Goa is to make it a casino capital, it means that you're going to get in more casinos.
You are not against casinos.
I'm not against casinos. I'm not against disturbing the economy of the state. The present economy of the state has taken a beating.
Mm.
It is about these two Indias which Rahul Gandhi has talked about yesterday. The rich India and the poor India. The rich India is not represented only by Adanis and Ambanis here. It is represented by the property Sawant, who is our chief minister, who was a government servant who has gone on to become a mine owner. So that is that rich India. And the poor India are those who are affected by mining closure, are those who are affected by the sale of our river Madai to Karnataka, who are those affected by the entire tourism activity being controlled by people who are not sons of the soil. So if you ask me what I did to protect Goanness or Goikarpon, I'll tell you several things that we did. As a minister as well as a part of state policy.
Give me one and then we'll move. Give me one thing that you believe you have done to strengthen Goan identity.
As a town and country planning minister, there is a section called 49(6), which means development of agriculture plots and sale of them as settlement, which was opposed by all the activists of Goa. So we made that applicable to the whole state. It means that you cannot just convert agricultural land, develop them into plots and sell it to migrants and make a whole ghetto. Ghettoization of Goa was prevented. Second, we made it compulsory for projects to follow a distinct architecture, which is Indo-Portuguese architecture, which is also very intrinsic to Goa.
I'll come to some of this because there's been criticism that when you were town and country planning minister, you allowed the sale of land to those from outside. You encourage encourage the so-called Delhi land lobby to enter Goa.
How did I encourage? On the contrary.
In this conversion of agriculture to industrial land.
On the contrary, this sale of plots, illegal plots, agricultural subdivided plots, and their illegal sale, the person involved is the present chief minister. And you can ask activists, you can ask Mr. Cloud Alvarez, who has been opposing this from the word go. Who stopped this?
Okay, the chief minister is also to join us later on the round table.
Please ask him.
Okay, we will ask him.
Please ask him about Jai Ganesh developers.
Dr. Bhatikar, the fact is that while we have started today's round table with regional parties, national parties have dominated Goa politics now for the last 20 years. The BJP got a majority in 2012. Before that, the Congress had a 5-year government. And from 2002, we have seen in particular, MGP has declined. Your vote, you may win maximum 3, maybe 4 seats. You are competitive only in 6 seats. Goa Forward also has been reduced in this election to contesting 3 seats. Manoj Parab's party is untested. Do you concede now many Goenkars? While you talk of Goenkar Pond, Goans are saying, no, we want to be part of the national parties, either Congress or BJP. Yes or no? MGP was, when I came to Goa in the 1990s, you were the main party, BJP was your small ally. Today, BJP is the main party, you are not even their ally left.
See, there was a time where MGP ruled.
Yes.
And now it's not the same.
Why?
There were very reasons for that.
No, today, why are most Goans preferring national parties to regional parties?
See, there is a mentality where that someone is at center, work at state happens very nicely. So that is a thing which we need to change now. And I need to tell one thing to Manoj Parab, that everyone does not do setting. Because he has a habit of saying about setting. Manoj also needs to know that he has come from Aam Aadmi Party to Revolutionary Goans. So I don't know what setting he has done and come to Revolutionary Goans. This is point one. And Goikarpon and outsiders, I don't believe in that. Because every Indian has all the right. Yes, we need to prioritize Goans. We are doing that. We don't need to be taught what is Goikarpan by anyone. Secondly, when you need blood, you don't check whether he's a Goikar or whether he's an outsider. Whether when you need doctors, you don't check, because when Sripad Naik was not well, it was a Delhi doctor who came all the way to check him. And if you talk about the properties where are there here and there, if you can afford, you buy it. If you cannot afford, and Delhi person comes and buy it. If he likes it, he buys it. It's a right where I have been educated in Karnataka. I have done my education there. It's a right where every individual has all the right to come, to stay somewhere, to be educated, to work for a healthy life, and nobody has all the right to stop. No such bills can be passed as per the Constitution.
So you're saying you cannot pass a bill saying employment will only be provided to Goenkars. You cannot pass land laws which say that land will belong
it's like Cinderella in Wonderland. People are only trying to fool people, and nobody wants to show someone like Baba how much good you are and how much bad I am. We all know which party all have come from and how much clean all are. Do not use Surf Excel to surf yourself.
Okay, Manoj, you need to respond to what you've just heard. That all this Goenkar porn is actually you are playing with the emotions of people. The reality is that you can't stop people from coming from Karnataka or any other state into Goa, just as Goans cannot be stopped from going to other states.
Yeah, correct. What Bhatikar has said, that and we cannot stop anyone from buying the land. I think this is a political immaturity or illiteracy, I would like to call, because there are certain laws which state assembly can do or bring and pass in the assembly where to protect their land. So every state like Maharashtra has a land protection bill, Karnataka has a land protection and conservation bill, Haryana has a land protection bill. Why not Goa? First is that, and second is there has to be a capping in buying a land, because Goa is a very tiny state and we cannot just allow anyone to come to Goa and buy as much land that they can. And about setting with the Aam Aadmi Party, I was just a volunteer in Aam Aadmi Party. I left Aam Aadmi Party because there was something that motivated me to join Aam Aadmi Party. That was a Swaraj book from by Arvind Kejriwal, but which was compromised totally. There was no Swaraj, there was no decentralization of powers. There's all centralization of the powers from the Delhi, and that is what is happening in Goa. No one is speaking for Goans, no one is speaking for Goa, and no one is speaking in action, okay, to save our Goa. Like Vijay Sardesai said, he has brought some laws. I would like to remind him that regional plan, the operationalization was done by Goa Forward Party. Then 16B was brought by Goa Forward Party. Then again PDAs were brought by Goa Forward Party. And all these things, Vijay was a TCP minister. He would have easily brought in land protection bill and conservation bill, which was actually supposed to be brought by the political parties 30 or 40 years before. There was no action on the illegal slum. There was no action on the illegal encroachment of the land. There was no action on the illegal buildings and illegal big construction. And this was allowed by all the successful.
You are claiming that the mainstream parties, whether regional or national, that have existed so far, have been hand in glove with the so-called land mafias?
100%. Goan politics is now in the hands of land mafias. There are land dealers, there are land real estate agents who are right now in the assembly, who are contesting and who have been in the ministry and who have done all the laws to sell Goa to the migrants or the outsiders.
Vijay, this is the most serious charge that is coming, that out of the 40 MLAs, most of them have some connection today to the land mafia. Most of them either are property dealers themselves. 12 of them are hotel owners, resort owners. We saw even in COVID time, that's why there was a reluctance of some of them to impose a lockdown in Goa. Is Goa for sale? The feeling is that regional parties should be standing up to those who are today saying Goa is for sale. Please come and take over my land is the charge which is being made. And when you were minister, you didn't do enough to stop it.
First thing is the technicalities of the law, like saying that PDAs were brought by me. PDAs were never brought by me. PDAs have been in Goa from the time of Ravi Naik. So the planning areas, there is something called a planning area and non-plan areas. Planning areas are the cities. So cities are planned differently because the FAR, which you in Bombay call FSI, floor surface index.
Floor space index.
Here we call it as floor area ratio.
Yes.
So here, wherever the FAR is more than 1, you will have a planning area. Planning area comes under a PDA. Now you have got a village like Mopa, where an airport is coming up. That Mopa is going to be a planning area. Nobody can stop it. Just because you speak in a round table here doesn't change the law. The law is that land in Goa, whether it's in the villages or in the cities, it will be categorized. In the villages, it will be non-planning areas. In the cities, it will be planned areas. Planned areas are those where PDAs come. Now, PDAs, what do the PDAs do? PDAs give you extra FSI. So you have, high-rise construction in the cities, which is normal. In which cities do you not have a high-rise construction? Number one. Number two, you are bringing the land mafia. And you are saying that there is a representation of the land dealers in the assembly.
Yes.
Now you tell me, you come to Goa and you want MLAs to be who? Teachers, what do you want them to be? Football players. What do you want them to be?
I have no problem.
Do you want people?
I want people who follow the rule of law.
Boss,
whoever comes to power should follow the rule of law.
No.
You cannot have people
who says MLAs who are elected to the house are not following the rule of law?
Look at the number.
Who says it? I've been MLA for 10 years. You show me one law I have broken. You show me there. Here you can show me one law that I have broken. Now it is not a hypothetical law that you are wanting to create, that you are trying to, in your dreamland try to create. See, you cannot bring in laws which are ultra virus to the constitution. You cannot say that land cannot be bought by somebody. You can now restrict the buying of that land by increasing certain taxes, by prioritization of the
By
interests of the sons of
by
the soil.
ensuring that when land is brought, environment rules are observed.
Yeah.
You
Now
can
the
ensure, you
point
can
is
at least ensure.
you'll never able to make Article 356 here. Once it is gone, it will never come for Goa. So that special status that we keep talking about in the assembly during the elections is dead once and for all.
Okay,
Let us understand this. Mr. Chidambaram has said it once as a minister for finance at that time. Before that, Pranab Mukherjee had said it. The BJP successive ministers, Arun Jaitley has said it, that special status for Goa is not possible. Now you bring your local laws. You make local laws to prioritize the interests of the sons of the soil. These are now issues which cannot be settled at a round table, which need discussion.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I have 5 minutes and you use the word sons of the soil.
Yes.
That is essentially the plank that even the Revolutionary Goans is talking about. Unemployment in this state a year ago was almost 25%, one of the highest in the country. 1 in every 4 Goans therefore did not have a job. And this has become a very emotive issue. I want to understand this. Do you believe somewhere that there is a need for political parties, especially the regional parties that claim to be connected to the ground, to see what can be done?
Yes.
To ensure that the sons of the soil get priority in some form or the other in jobs? Do you believe they should get priority or not?
Yes, they should get priority, and this priority can only come if people like Deepak Pavaskar and BJP Pramod Sawant are thrown away, who prioritize job only by taking 30 to 40 lakhs per job. And I think if we select and elect a proper candidate, only then we can think about all such stuff.
So is there a consensus that sons of the soil should be there? Priority should be for Goans? Is this a consensus across parties? Because some parties have made it part of their manifesto, like the Aam Aadmi Party.
No. I moved a bill in the House as a private member bill 1 year ago, just 1.5 years ago. This was to bring a reservation of 75%, 80% of jobs in the private sector to Goans. Who are Goans now? He'll ask me what is the definition.
Now, how
of
can
a
you
Goan?
reserve jobs? How can you tell a private sector person 80% jobs have to be reserved for Goans? You can do it in government, but you can't do it in the private sector.
No, you can do it. You check what Chautala did in Haryana. The same thing. What Chautala did in Haryana under a BJP alliance government, I was asking them to do it here. But today, just today, the High Court in Haryana has taken cognizance and stayed it.
That's right.
Today, but that is 3 years after he has done it.
But you believe that there should be a law.
I believe that in the
private sector
yes,
also should ensure
100%.
that 80% jobs should be for locals.
Yeah, 25 years of domicile, residency and knowledge of Konkani. After this Chief Minister Pramod Sawant has become the CM, he has diluted the knowledge of Konkani in every sector.
Okay.
Which means he wants to get people who don't know Konkani and give them jobs. Our mother tongue is the only thing that makes us Goans. One, and our birth in Goa. So that is the 25 years of discontinuous,
okay.
This
Manoj, both the parties are agreeing sons of the soil.
Yeah,
which is your plank also.
Yeah, they have been always been agreeing about sons of soil, but they are not ready to define who is a son of soil. That's the biggest question. And secondly, about the
no, he's saying 20 years of domicile.
Yeah, that's what that is
and,
not
knowledge of Konkani.
Yeah, that is not acceptable.
That is not acceptable.
That is not acceptable to many of the Goans.
So who is a son of the soil?
We have defined a person of Goan origin, where we have put a cutoff date, 28th December 1961. Any person who's either of the parents or grandparents born in Goa before liberation and whose families are staying in Goa right now or will be coming next, we define them as a person of Goan origin.
Okay.
And secondly, about the employment. The employment to the migrants is a policy failure from the successive government. MGP leader Sudhin Daudekar has been in government, so many government. He's been a joker of politics of Goa, and he's been in different political parties, but they have failed totally to make a law or to make a policy wherein our Goan youth can be employed in the industries. There's a huge gap between the talent and the industries requirement, and that gap, no government is trying to fill that gap or no government is trying to bring that training or training institute in the Goa so that industries can be catered. So
You
we
know,
need to work
that-
on that policy so
You know,
that
the-
so that so that
just
so
a
that
second.
there is
You know,
automatic
what Manoj is saying-
automatic
just a
employment.
second.
Manoj is saying that
Yeah.
at a round table before Goa elections, you say a lot of things that we want sons of the soil, we will ensure employment. When you come to power, then you become deal makers. That is what the I think is being
Exactly,
suggested.
exactly.
Sudhin
Rajdeep, one
Dhauli-
second,
the-
Rajdeep.
you see, the belief is today MGP, which was the original regional party of Goa, has become a party of the Dhavlikar brothers, and they will go where where power is. If power is with BJP, Mr. Sudhin Dhavlikar will go with Nitin Gadkari. If power is with Congress, he will find some deal with Digambar Kamath. That is the reputation of the original regional party of Goa.
So you know which way, who has to be connected where.
Sorry?
Who has to be connected where, you know.
No, no. All I am saying is that I had heard.
They say Gadkari only made this new alliance.
No, but I was told that Mr.
TMC
Gadkari. No, no. 1 minute.
TMC
1 minute. Vijay Sardesai. I was told that Nitin Gadkari flew to this very hotel
Yeah.
on the day after the last elections, met you at 2 a.m. in the morning. And that is how the deal was shown next morning, that you went with Manor Parikar.
No.
Where in this hotel did you and Gadkari meet, and what was the deal?
No. See, Nitin Gadkari.
No, you mentioned it, that's why I didn't.
Nitin Gadkari doesn't happen to be a relative of mine, first.
Yes.
He happens to be a distant relative of Sudhin Dhavlikar. This
Yes.
is what I've heard.
Yes.
I'm not verified. To get Parikar to Goa, I don't require Gadkari. It is a thing between two Goans. I don't require an outsider.
Did you
to
meet?
make a
Did
deal.
you meet Nitin Gadkari
You
late
had-
in the
you had
night
to
or
meet-
not?
No, you had to meet him because he was part of this, because we had to talk about our portfolios. But I didn't meet him to form the government.
Okay.
I didn't require Gadkari to bring Parikar to Goa.
Yes. Okay. You wanted to
See,
respond.
I'll just tell you one thing. What he said, Mr. Manoj Parab, from 1961. I can assure you one thing. Manoj Parab has taken all the history of his family members when they entered Goa and made this Pogo Fogo bill. This is point one, so that his family is safe, and then he can call himself Goan karke. This is one point. Secondly, he wants to be CM. I think he needs to understand what is literacy. I don't need any percentage from him. A person after 10 o'clock, I don't know what gets in his body, calling people in Konkani when they call someone kutro, dogs. These are the unparliamentary, unused words on Facebook, social media. Goa does not need such person to be even called as a leader. This is second point. And third point I will ask you. Calling someone a joker. After Kapil Sharma, there is another show which is going on every day on Facebook. People know which is that show. I don't want to talk on that. And lastly, Rajdeep, I don't understand how you understand about every deal. We need to know this also today.
No,
Because every deal with Sudhin, Digambar, Vijay, are you a part of it or you know it? If you know, why don't you expose it?
no, good point.
Ah.
I wish we could expose all the wheeling and dealing that goes on in Goa, but it is a sad commentary that in the last 20 years, Goa has had more chief ministers than any other state of India. That is the reality. And when that happens, when this instability happens, presumably there is some dealing that's going on. It doesn't help Goa to have that kind of instability. Therefore, in conclusion, let me ask each
Just
of you,
one
are you
minute.
confident, Vijay Sardesai, that 2022 will see an end to this politics of wheeling and dealing?
The first thing is, the cancer that has affected the Goan polity is the cancer of defections. Now this defection the BJP has excelled in. They do something which is post-poll defection, which everybody knows, which comes under the 10th schedule of the constitution.
Yes.
As yet it is rotting in the High Court. The High Court has not decided. The term is almost over. So now after excelling in post-poll defection, they have started pre-poll defection, wherein they took members from every political party. Everybody who is capable of winning, they have, by force or something, they have picked him up. Now, to the luck of the Congress party, they have somehow flushed out all the filth of the Congress. The corrupt, the defectors, everybody has been flushed out by the BJP and taken in as part of their lineup. So the BJP has a very strong lineup, but all heavyweights. Many a times the ship with heavyweights sinks with his own weight. So I expect that the socio-politically conscious electorate of Goa sinks this BJP ship, gives a clear mandate to the Goa Forward Congress Alliance, and we get rid of defections once and for all, and there will be no willing dealing.
Okay.
Once there is no defection, there is no willing dealing. Nobody comes in the night. We do it in the morning. Yeah.
Okay.
Right
no
in the sun.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
We should have, if at all a government should be formed, it should be formed in the sunlight. It shouldn't be formed after midnight, because it is after midnight that most of the wheeling and dealing, it seems, takes place in Goa. Either way, regional parties continue to have an important role because they are connected in many ways to the ground in a small state. Goa's regional identity is an important element of Goa's statehood, and Goa, remember, in 1967 chose not to merge with Maharashtra because the Goans wanted to retain their sense of unique identity. So whichever national party comes to power also and ties up with a regional party, the regional parties will continue, it seems, to have some role to play to tap into that sense of Goa's strong regional aspiration. For joining me here on the India Today Roundtable, Manoj, Parab, Vijay Sardesai and Dr. Bhatikar, thank you very much for joining me on the show.